Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Maybe there'll be a kind chatter who could let me know if they can hear me all good. But look, if you've only just recently come to the channel on maybe some of the more high quality videos I've been trying to release recently, don't worry. For all you veteran viewers, this will be a return to form. We're back to the good old low quality, long form content that is my stream. So, welcome everybody. It's been a while since I've done these. I mean, I always say I'm going to try and stream more because I really enjoy it. And yet, you know, here I am after probably 3 or 4 weeks since the last stream. I think it was just after the last patch dropped, actually. I was doing a one city challenge with Augustus, who is very strong. But we're not talking about leaders today. You can go watch my video on leaders for that, the most recent tier list. Today, we will be talking about Exploration Age Civs. So I just ranked all the antiquity ones the other day in a video that went for 1 hour and 55 minutes. So sorry about that. But turns out it takes a really long time to evaluate all the civs. I suspect it'll take a similar amount of time today. Granted, the Exploration Age civs aren't quite as exciting, I would say. So I guess in some ways they are. But I mean, let's be honest, you know, everyone plays Antiquity. I mean, who does advanced starts, right? Nobody. Nobody does advanced starts. Anyway, we'll be doing that. I'm streaming on YouTube only today. No Twitch, unfortunately. Really, what motivated me to stream, so, you know, good on YouTube for sending out emails. You know, you always wonder who reads these things. Well, I do. And they've got this new feature where you can, like, take a break, and it's done through YouTube. I haven't tested it. I'm going to test it live, as you do. Thank you. Go Pack Go. Nice name. I appreciate the videos. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you watching them. Yeah, so YouTube only today, which, you know, I mean, look, to clarify, the last stream I did was the only one I've ever done on Twitch, right? I had to figure out the whole dual streaming and whatnot. So I've done one stream on Twitch, and I had one viewer, and they were chatting quite a bit, and they proceeded to ask me if I wanted, you know, some thumbnail art done or if I needed help with my channel. I politely declined. I said that's all good. I added them on Discord because I wanted to be nice and, you know, what's no harm. And then they proceeded to ask me if I wanted some very questionable drawings done, I guess you would say. Amateur artist asking for if I want questionable material. Maybe you can put 2 and 2 together as to what the request was pertaining to. I did not indulge them, unfortunately. So sorry, dear viewers. Anyway, long story short, the Twitch experiment went well. Interestingly, I did go and check the Civ 7 category on Twitch just before I started the stream, or while the countdown was going on. And man, it is absolutely dead. Civ 7 on Twitch is just cooked. Like I know the player count's low and rah, you know, and I'm sure this will come up again on the stream as always. You know, how Civ 7's launched and what type of game it is, all the rest of it. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think there were 3 viewers watching Civ 7 when I last checked. That is not ideal. I mean, Civ has never been a very popular game to stream, and you know, I don't know time zones. Like, is it a good time to be streaming Civ? I couldn't tell you. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's not looking great for the Civ 7 live stream scene. Oh look, here's another feature actually they just added. So Go Pack Go has said I'm 500 hours in Civ 7, love the game. Yeah, I actually just hit 300. I'm at 320 minutes right now. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it's a great game. I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying it. considering it's like, you know, no expansions or anything, right? Hopefully the music isn't too loud, by the way, but I just clicked on, so I might be able to hear it, which is good. Yeah, it is a good game. Again, you know, I'm probably going to release another video soon about this because I love talking about this game. I think the game has just such good bones, you know. Give it some time. Yes, you know, obviously we shouldn't have to, you know, give it time. It should be good to start with. But put another way, getting 300 hours of entertainment out of one piece of media, it's not bad. Anyway, Go Pack Go, you've touched on the newest feature here as well, which if you're, looks like you can't see it on the stream, which maybe I could probably fix that actually. If I did the YouTube chat. Anyway, food for thought for me. But you are the #1 top fan right now in the chat, so you get a little crown. Yeah, it's a new thing they've added apparently, so there you go. Fight it out, people. Get in the chat, and you too could have a crown next to your name. Alright. So we've been going for 19 minutes, 10 of which was waiting. Got a huge audience tonight, it's got to be said. I do think I'm quite proud of the more recent videos I've done, so I'm glad they gained quite a few subscribers from them. Anyway, so let's crack on, because you're not here to hear me talk. So, usual rules. It's my opinion, etc. We're going to be, you know, looking at this from the D&D perspective, single player, more or less. For what it's worth, I tend to play with one other person, so I kind of do like multiplayer, but essentially with a really good AI, you could say. Anyway, essentially single player, so no multiplayer shenanigans, although I would actually be interested in getting into the Civ 7 multiplayer scene. I never really got into it in Civ 6, a bit intimidating, and the meta was very established. Whereas Civ 7 is, you know, fresh and evolving, so I'd be more inclined to join the multiplayer scene for Civ 7, but it didn't look very active last time I saw, and I'm not too sure. Honestly, even because it's CPL, right? Civ Players League, I think it's called, right? Seemed a bit difficult as to how you actually signed up. I don't know what you'd call it, but yeah, I couldn't really crack it. If anyone in chat does play Civ 7 multiplayer, like the competitive league, let me know. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Until we get official support in the game itself, which we never will. Let's be honest. I mean, they should. I think it could really pop off if they put just a tiny bit of effort into that. Until such time, I probably won't get too into it really. Anyway, let's hop in. So we'll just go from start to finish. I've got my handy tier list over on the side here. We'll just move to the smaller settings and the fastest ones. That doesn't really matter. Let's get in. So hope you're all doing all right tonight. For me, it's tonight. For you, it might be morning. Oh, old mate's going to talk over me, so I'll be quiet for a bit.
Is the heart of wisdom. As the knowledge of the world and heavens flows inward to Abbasid libraries, Abbasid scholars are guided by the tenets of their faith and their devotion to expanding the frontiers of science and commerce. Seek, read, discover. The world is yours.
So there's the extended, oh god, I hit, oh no, okay. For a second I forgot why I hit Exploration Age. Alright, it's just I've never seen the advanced start thing before, so I was very confused as to why I've got a 19 population city. Yeah, excuse me trying to talk over Gwendolyn Christie, but she does go on for a little while now, which is much appreciated. Okay, Abbasids. What do we think about the Abbasids? Because I'll tell you what I think. I think they're absolutely insane. And I've just realised that this is going to be a really bad spot for the chat to sit for this video. Give me 2 seconds. I will fix that up. Where could it go? Bottom middle? Going to be looking at civics and attributes. Yeah, that should be perfect. Alright. Stay strong, team. Hang on. We can fix this live. Hopefully that worked. I think we might have lost the chat. But that looks all good. Okay. Get my thingo back, so I know I haven't crashed. All right. Abbasids. Abbasids are insanely strong. Starting off really strong here. I think realistically we could be looking at the best Exploration Age Civ in the game right off the bat. I don't think that's unfair to say either. If you've played the Abbasids, you'll know they're pretty damn good. So, what do? The Abbasids receive 30 gold for each rural population of the city when you create a specialist. Oh, Kidru. Hello. Nice to have you here. I think they're probably the best civ in the game in general. Honestly, I think there are some pretty high-powered exploration ones, antiquity civs, but I feel that. You've got the number 2 crown, by the way. It's between you and Go Pack Go to fight for that one. Yeah, I think, look, they are a contender for one of the best civs in the entire game across all ages. The Abbasids are insane. 30 gold for each rule pop when you create a specialist is just so good. That's just so much gold. That's just free gold for doing what you're going to be doing anyway in the Exploration Age, which is creating specialists, probably. Obviously, it relies on your rural population, so you've got to have a healthy amount of that. But, I mean, let's look at the default city, actually. Well, I mean, again, I've never done an advanced start, so, you know, what is going on here? Who can really say? But I can see, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's 7 rural population. So that's what the game apparently thinks is a pretty standard amount of rural pop to have in the Exploration Age at the start. And I'd believe that. That sounds about right to me. So you could say every time you put a specialist down, you gain 200 gold, which is insane. You're probably going to have, I mean, look, urban centers have changed the meta a lot. So you're probably not going to have as many cities as you once did. But that does kind of play into the specialist playstyle. I mean, I think going tall is super viable now. Hard to say if it's better than wide, but I think it's really close. I need to do probably a bit more gameplay to really confirm. But yeah, probably 200 gold for every specialist you make is just crazy. Such a good bonus. I mean, what a start. 30% production bonus towards constructing the House of Wisdom. The House of Wisdom, from memory, is a really good wonder. It's not there. It is here. Hello, are we going alphabetically? Missed the beginning. Historish. Hello. Yes, we are. We are going alphabetically, so you are right at the start. We're on our first civ here, the Abbasids, and we're already basically contending that they are probably the best civ in exploration. Kidru thinks they may be the best civ in the game overall. We'll get to the bottom of it, don't you worry. As you know, we only report the most objective facts here, so anyway, House of Wisdom. Yes, as I was saying, as Kidru's just said, hopefully I'm saying that right, by the way, and I see you've taken the number 1 spot as well. I'm here to breed some competition. Yeah, House of Wisdom is such an... it is an amazing wonder. It's really, really fantastic, but good luck getting it. It is super prioritized by the AI, but this is the kind of wonder where, to be honest, I think a lot of other wonders should be brought up to its power level. I really like the design of it. So it has 3 relic slots, and you get +2 signs from Great Works. Yep, typical sort of wonder in this game, really. But it instantly fills all of its slots as well. And I think it's the only wonder that does that. There's, like, I can think of Hermitage in the modern age that gives you, I think, 4 slots. Maybe I'm mixing up with Civ 6, but something like that. But again, it doesn't fill them up. For whatever reason, the House of Wisdom gives you those 3 relic slots, and then instantly fills it out, which is, you know, what, 6 science at least from those 3. And I think I want to say relics. I think it's 2 happiness, 2 culture. Or maybe it's 3 happiness, 3 culture. But relics are pretty decent. The House of Wisdom is great. In saying all that, no, you're not going to build this. Unfortunately, they've done one of these. They've done you dirty here, as they like to do. And don't get me wrong, the Abbasids don't need a buff, but this is just really poor design in my opinion. The wonder that you are meant to build, you know, your associated civ wonder, should never be slower to get through your civic tree than the standard tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, technically it's the same speed, but you're not going to rush through this to get the House of Wisdom. So look, I don't really like that. Not a good start. And yeah, the AI will always prioritize this to a ridiculous extent. Yeah, an unfortunate one, but hey, if you can pull it off and you do get the House of Wisdom, if you weren't already going to win the game because you got the Abbasids, you probably are now, because it is a really good one. The only unfortunate part about it, I should add, is has 3 relic slots, gain 3 relics, plus 2 signs from... Oh, you know, I was about to say it's one of these wonders that doesn't really carry well into the next stage. But again, this is a rare wonder. I think unlike Nalanda, I want to say, that only buffs the Antiquity Age relics. I could be wrong, and I can't even check in the Civipedia because it's age-locked, which is awful. There you go, more points for House of Wisdom. But it doesn't give you Great Work slots in Modern Age, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there was a lot of time spent on House of Wisdom, but it is a seriously good wonder. Maybe that's, hey, wonder tier list, question mark? Anyway, moving on, we have the Mamluk making its return from at least Civ 6. I don't think it was their unique unit in Civ 5. Very different to its Civ 6 iteration. The Mamluk is just a total defensive beast. That's its purpose. When stationed in your territory, receive +1 combat strength for every urban population in that settlement. So really strong. I mean, you're going to have a fair bit of urban population by this point. I would imagine if you build all the buildings, you're looking at least 10 urban population, so +10 combat strength in your own territory. No one's getting through that. Note, has lower combat strength than other cavalry units. So its base, it starts lower, but this just scales up so quickly. I mean, you're going to be building buildings, right? That's what they're for. That's why they're called buildings. Anyway, a really good unit. If you're trying to attack with this, you're going to have a bit of a bad time, really. It's just a worse cavalry unit. But yeah, it's good for what it does. The Abbasids are not meant to be... They are such a defensive civ. Do not try... I mean, you're going to have really good science, but still would not advise trying to rush people down. They just don't really excel at it. We have their great person, and you know, apologies for the names here, but anyway, the Alim, I want to say. A great person with 1 charge, can only be trained in cities. It's one of these random ones. I'm going to get the great people up on my other screen, and there'll be no real easy way to share this, but we're going to get the gist. And the gist is going to be that some of them are good and some of them are bad, which is all you can really say for a lot of these great people ones. Having a look. Receive a random unlocked technology, that's amazing. Construct an observatory with +2 science, incredible. Menagerie with +2 happiness, that's really good. Receive an additional specialist and has 2 charges. Okay, I don't remember these being that good, but these are pretty incredible actually. +3 science for both quarter buildings, that's pretty terrible. That's +6 science. Receive social policy. Construct a hospital with +2 food. I wonder if you can get that early. Can you get that before you unlock hospitals and use it? And +10% happiness. Okay, those are pretty good. Really good, actually. Those are some really good great people. I couldn't show that, but take my word for it. I'm going to assume as well. Watch this. I bet I can't even see the great people. Nope. Classic Civ 7 Civipedia. I'm gonna crash out. Why do you make me check the wiki for seeing what my units do? Anyway, I gotta tab out before I lose my mind. Okay, we have the unique quarter, because of course every busted Civ in Civ 7 has to have a unique quarter. Created by well, we'll go down to the buildings first. The Madrasa. The Madrasa returns the science building, +5 science by default. Now, what does a library give, or the equivalent? So an observatory is +4, so already better than observatory. +1 science adjacency for quarters, science buildings, and wonders. So if you build the madrasa next to a quarter that has 2 science buildings in it, which, you know, you tend to group your buildings together because there's, you know, science and production spots and there's culture and happiness spots. That's how Civ 7 works. You're going to be getting what? +5 by default, 2 for the building, 1 for the quarter. That's a +8 madrasa. And that's very easy to get every single city. Crazy stuff. The second building is the mosque. +4 happiness and +1 culture adjacency for happiness buildings and wonders. +1 happiness adjacency for culture buildings and wonders. And I don't know if this is bugged. I think I tried this and I don't think it worked. But the only building in the game that lets you found a religion without piety, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure that's how it's meant to work. Maybe we can test this live, actually. We are on, like, quick speed or whatever. 7 turns for the mosque. We have to do this whole stupid advanced start thing, though. I don't know. Hey, it's a live stream, right? That's what we're here to do. Alright, let's just, no, let's not even do towns or cities. Let's just do some complete garbage. Wildcard attribute points, get as many of those as we can. 600 gold. Some population. Yep, sounds good. Whole bunch of trash, and let's do some. Got a ton of wildcard points. Watch this. Bam, bam. Spend it on some trash. Let's shift enter a bit. We're gonna test this out live. Thanks for tuning in, team. This is so many viewers compared to normal. This is great. Alright, here we go. So we should have enough gold to instantly buy the mosque. I note that we are apparently losing money. Purchase... Oh. Couldn't load the icons in. Purchase our mosque. And we can. Should probably not do... anyway. Sure enough, the mosque does work. Okay, maybe they fixed that. I could have swore that was bugged once upon a time. All the more reason. So why does the episode get such a nice little touch like that on their unique buildings? Because they're the best, that's why. They've clearly given a lot of love. So the mosque, a decent building in its own right in terms of generating culture and happiness, which you're always going to need. But the fact that you can sort of cheat out going for piety and go straight down your tree is pretty great. Considering you also get an absurd civic with this, but I'll read that out later. Take a quick sip here. So yeah, look, what a great start. So if you build both of those, unique quarter, +1 science to all specialists in this city. So Confucius, you get half of Confucius's whole leader ability basically, just from this quarter, and you can just build this in every city, and you basically got your halfway to Confucius. The gold from the specialist goes into building your cities out even more. It snowballs so much with science and city building. It does. I mean, it's just one of these like circular civs. It reminds me of Maya. You know, you get all this science, which naturally lets you build all these buildings. You put all the specialists on your buildings, which gives you gold, which lets you build more buildings, which produces more gold, and it's just amazing. It just keeps working. I think this civ is unparalleled when it comes to science creation. If all of their bonuses were just what we saw, I think the Absids would be a strong contender for one of the better civs in exploration. But it doesn't stop there. We have the civic tree, of course. Round city. So you unlock the mosque, as we saw. And then they just get this insane bonus right off the bat. So knowing now that the mosque is working as intended, and you know, it does let you found your religion, so I would confidently say that's fair enough. You can skip piety. You do want this eventually for that other pretty good card there, the overbuilding one. But here you go, Ground City, plus 50% production towards constructing buildings in cities with at least 8 urban population, which is so easy to get. Plus 50% production towards constructing buildings. Come on, what were they thinking? what were they thinking with this? All the bonuses towards constructing buildings are usually so minor. I think there's one in the science tree, I want to say, plus 15% here. That's 1.5. There's the altar that gives you plus 10% in antiquity. The very first civic for the Abbasids, 50% production. Wow. Yes, it's got a bit of a condition attached to it. It's not hard to get there. It's not hard at all. Guess what? All that gold you're getting from your specialists, buy a granary, buy a saw pit, buy a few other really cheap buildings. You've got your 8 urban population. Now that city has 50% production towards buildings. What the hell? Anyway. Down to the mastery. City of Peace. All buildings receive a +1 science adjacency with a city hall and palace. Note that the city hall is also a town hall. Really poor wording on that one. Yeah, just a solid card. +1 science isn't much, but you're going to get a lot of this, so it's free science, particularly at the start of the age. It's not too bad, but admittedly, one of their worst things here. But you get the inbuilt trait, +4 food on science buildings, more food, more specialists, more money. Very good. On to their second card. So you get the Madrasa, a fantastic science building, as I said. You also get +2 happiness on resources in settlements with a temple. Now, note that you are going to have to get your mosque and your temple for this to work. Doesn't cover that, as far as I know. But again, just such an easy bonus to fulfill. I mean, you're going to probably found your religion. Maybe first, you're going to be one of the first people to get your religion because of the mosque, because it's super good and super fast to get. So you're going to have a really good religion, which means you're probably going to build your temples everywhere you can. And good news, now all of your resources get +2 happiness, which is so good. I mean, again, thinking to that Amina, I think it's plus maybe 1 gold per age on resources. Again, Abbasid just gets that, for free. Obviously, it's happiness, not gold, right? But it's just such a strong ability. And then on top of that, earn science equal to 25% of trade income. Well, that's trash. We actually don't care about that. Don't worry too much. Trade income's like really, that's just what you get from other players trading with you. So you can't really control this, but hey, if you have a lot of resources, people will trade with you and you might get like 10 science from this in the late game. Pretty bad, but it's free. So there you go. Second mastery. Mamluks gain the skirmish ability, which is 50% more flanking bonuses. Not bad if you are using Mamluks. If you're at war, probably in your own territory, and you have a lot of Mamluks, which you should if you're going to be defending, then this is a really good bonus. It's funny, I don't find myself using flanking quite as much in Civ 7. It was a really big deal in Civ 6 as to, always making sure you're surrounding units with as many units as possible for, +2 combat strength for each one. I don't find myself using flanking that much in Civ 7 now that I'm thinking about it. It does work differently, keep that in mind as well. In Civ 7 when you start hitting a unit, you enter that sort of combat animation where they're engaged together. As I understand it, if you hit them from a different direction to the one that they are initially engaged on that turn facing, that's when flanking kicks in. I have used this bonus, and it did feel very strong when you're flanking. So you just have like one dummy unit you start combat with to get them to face a certain way, then you flank them with all your other units. It feels good, but I don't know. I think I haven't seen many other people playing with flanking much either, so... You do get flanking a lot later in Civ 7. I'm pretty sure it's a standard in Exploration, but yeah, in Antiquity, I mean, I know where it is. Like it's on the tech tree. It's like this one here. You unlock flanking over here in Antiquity, and this spot as well. It's the one where you get arenas, I think. It's like the last tech you're always going to go for, basically. It's yeah, terrible. So flanking really doesn't come into antiquity at all. That's a very good point. Anyway, sales and trade. If you thought it was starting to look a bit grim for Abbasids, you were wrong. +3 gold and science for each resource assigned to cities. And you can ignore the last sentence, basically. So +3 gold and science for each resource. Wow. That's a lot of gold and science. In exploration, your trade routes really start to pop off. I mean, you'll have settlements everywhere. Everyone's trading with everyone. +3 gold and science on all of your resources. Yes, it's only on cities. Yes, it's still really strong. Your cities are going to be huge. Build those markets or whatever they are in exploration. Get the resource slots up, and this card will do you very nicely. A good, really solid chunk of change, particularly in the early game, but a decent one to start modern with as well. Really good stuff. And on to their last one. Man, the chat is in like the worst spot now though. I can't win. That's not too bad if I put it on the edge, I guess. Plus 15% science in cities with at least 8 urban population. So again, 8 urban population, super easy to fulfill. Don't worry about that. Plus 15% science in your cities, incredible. I mean, just a straight up big buff, right? Good stuff. +4 science in towns, again, pretty solid. It's coming a little bit later in the tree here, so +4 science starts to wean off a little bit in terms of how good it is, but you're still probably going to plug this in if you have a reasonably sort of weak slot to fill. A really good one. Again, a great one to start Modern Age with 2 to get the science up right off the bat. So, and then down here, House of Wisdom unlocked finally, way too late probably, and 33% happiness towards maintaining specialists. Now, this isn't as good as it sounds. Yes, it plays into their sort of vibe of wanting specialists, but plus 33% happiness towards maintaining them. I mean, they cost 2 happiness by default. Plus 33%. I mean, what would that be? I think it's... I want to say it's 0.3 happiness less, so they'd be 1.7. The maths on this always gets me a bit, so maybe someone can correct me, but 100% happiness would be half price. So I think 33% happiness would be like about 16% off. Could be wrong. Anyway, not great, not terrible, but worth getting once you have a fair few specialists going. And that's the Abbasids. What an insane civ. I'm trying to think, like, who else is in exploration that could rival them. Could probably check the Civipedia really for this. Oh man, I did not go in here at all. Can you tell? Can I just do like civs? Like, where are the civs? Really? Leaders? I completely missed it. That one's on me. Okay, who else we got here that could even come close to the Abbasids? Bulgaria have been nerfed, keep that in mind. Like, substantially. Although not in their age. Not in exploration so much. Mainly in modern. Hawaii have been, like, absolutely trashed, unfortunately. Inca got buffed, we can talk about them. Ming are pretty decent, Mongolia's pretty decent. Normans I don't love, but I did see Ursa quite liked them. Shawnee are a bit bugged. They are ridiculously strong right now, just because of a certain bug we can talk about. Yeah, interesting. I think it's probably not unfair to say that the Abbasids are possibly the strongest civ in exploration. But Bulgaria does exist. Listen, hang on, give me 1 second. I need to get my tier list up here. I'm going to have to do a little civ on the fly, or streaming stuff on the fly here. How do I do this? Display. Might get a bit of double up here. Hang on. I think. Oh. I think that's right. um, great. So here is. I mean, I can't look at my OBS now, which is a bit unfortunate. Anyway, where would we put the Abbasids? And ignore all these Antiquity Age ones. I think this one's pretty safe. Abbasids can go straight to S tier. I mean, whether the best, we'll come to discuss that with our next runner-up here. Really strong start to the alphabet list of Exploration Age Civ tier list rankings, but the Abbasids are insane. They basically just do everything really, really well. Everything's science, that is, anyway. So specialists, they love it. You're going to get thousands and thousands of free gold from their specialists when you place them down from your royal population. It's insane. You're going to get a really good religion from your mosque, most likely, allowing you to get through your Abbasid civic tree pretty fast. What's not to like? I mean, they just generate so much science. The madrasa is a unique science building, which is great for what they want to do. Not often you get a unique science building that has +5 base science, and it's very easy to get a +8 and keep it there. So yeah, Abbasids can go straight to S tier. Just an insanely good civ. All right, how are we gonna, hopefully that wasn't too jarring for everyone. We'll peek behind the curtain there behind the John curtain, you could say, of my streaming setup. Yeah, all right, let me fix this. And that's the Abbasids. I just realized that we are going to have to go in and out a fair bit here, and because of the Exploration Age start, we do have to do an advanced start every time. But Bulgaria, a very good civ. We'll get into it.
Atop the high peaks, the monks send their prayers skyward, and on the plains below, the trumpet sounds. Bulgaria rides, with swords guided by faith, and faith stronger than steel. Raise the war horn.
Okay, we got Pachacuti as Bulgaria. And Bulgaria has had a lot of changes recently. A lot of changes. They were completely busted for the longest time. Bit of a sleeper civ, this one. They're part of the DLC, so not many people have played them, really, because Civ 7 was a bit unpopular. And, unpopular as a base game, so people are willing to shell out a bit of cash for the extra civs, an even smaller audience. But they, definitely flew under the radar in terms of their power level. I didn't think they were going to be that good, but they have a very, very good civic or ability now that completely breaks the game, at least in their era. So before we get to Bulgaria, I am... oh, sorry, I missed a chat here. Haven't played much of them, as I like to conquest instead of pillage. But the one game I did, they were pretty strong, if I remember rightly. They are really strong. They just have a very unique playstyle. So these people, they're the pillage civ, like the Vikings. You still aren't in the game, mind you. There's no real Nordic civs in Civ 7. So they have a playstyle that takes a bit of getting used to. But to be honest, because of some of this commander, mainly, this commander in this unit here, it's a lot easier to get adjusted to their playstyle than a typical sort of pillaging civ, I guess. We'll get into that shortly. I'm going to try now to do one of these YouTube ad breaks. I have no idea how this works. It said I had to copy something into my stream, or I don't know. Anyway, apologies, this might run an ad or something, I don't know. But I'm going to do a 3-minute break and see what happens. So I'll see you all back shortly. Okay, I've resumed the stream. If there's anyone in chat that can tell me what just happened when that break was allegedly going on, that would be great. I don't know if it did anything. From what I could see, nothing happened at all. I'm probably just going to nothing. Okay. It's a really great feature, YouTube. I thought I don't even know if it was meant to play an ad or what. Maybe I need to do some tweaking there, but I'll just continue to use my my BRB screen in future, I guess. Anyway, I thought people would like leave in droves when I did that little break. Everyone actually just arrived by the looks of it. Although I did notice one person unliked the stream when I did that, so sorry about that. I don't know what I did to offend you. A lot of and scratching for Pachikiti. Yep, sounds like him. Okay. There's a lot of ruckus coming from this city. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay. Bulgaria. The DLC Civ, so of course it has to be busted. Receive production in all cities when pillaging buildings equal to 50% of the yield or HP gained. So they've moved this, what used to be a tradition, into their innate ability. So it used to be the food card was the innate ability. They've swapped them around. This makes Bulgaria massively good in the early game, but it doesn't make them the most insane civ in the game anymore for setting yourself up for modern. There was no... I never saw any evidence of this, and it's a bit of a shame that I never tried it myself, but it sounded insane that there was people winning in 4 turns in the modern age, completing the victory in 4 turns as Bulgaria, which is... that's ridiculous. That should not be happening. Fun stuff like that is great. You know, it's nice to have some broken stuff, but that was a bit insane. Interestingly though, but it's now they just get that right from the start. So thinking this through, it's hard to not say Bulgaria is still pretty insane. We'll keep moving, but yeah, that's quite an ability to start off with. All combat units receive -3 combat strength against districts with medieval walls. So this is not... there's no secret here. This is a downside to their ability. They aren't really meant to be taking and capturing cities. They are just meant to burn them down, basically. So you send all your units in. Ideally, they don't have too many walls in general, because then you can pillage urban districts rather than just rural. Urban ones giving you yields generally, so science and culture, or gold. So yeah, a really good bonus. I mean, this is insane. So this is going to be giving you thousands of production over the course of the game, or over the era. Now, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one, we'll get down to it, but it's not just that, you know, you get this from pillaging. It's that everything they do is geared towards pillaging. And pillaging a lot, and with using almost no movement, basically. Yeah, insane. Anyway, Bulgaria is good fun, but they just feel so unfair. They have a unique commander here. Oh, sorry. We'll start with the commander, though, down here. Any commander has 3 movement by default. A standard commander has 2. If you pack a unit in, that goes up to 3 for what it's worth. But with the Tarkin, it goes up to 4. Which is really good. Movement is really powerful. Units in its command radius can pillage for 1 movement, which is pretty crazy. It's just so good. Pillaging for 1 movement, you'll recognize this, you know, used to be an ability in Civ 6 as well. And it was insanely strong in Civ 6. The light cavalry promotion was fantastic. So yeah, really good stuff. The movement is also really great, but we go up to the unique unit. Ignore rough terrain for movement and opposing units combat, which is really great. So they can shift around the Civ really easily. +3 combat strength when this unit is fighting on rough terrain. Again, there's a bit of a theme here we'll get into. Bulgaria does sort of work around rough terrain really well, so that's good. But yeah, a really solid unit, and it does get better as I understand it. I'm pretty sure there's more bonuses to come. Down to their unique improvement, the Hidden Fortress, +4 production. Really good. If you didn't pick a Civ with any sort of unique building in the first stage, and your improvements are, you know, unimproved improvements, you could say, I guess. They don't have anything sitting on top of them. The Hidden Fortress is a fantastic one to drop on top. Units on this tile gain Stealth. Bulgarian unique improvement counts as a fortification. +6 combat strength when defending. Ageless. Does not remove warehouse bonuses on a tile. You can't place them next to each other. So there's a lot there, but the gist of it is these go on top of rough terrain. So, you know, mines. These go on top of your mines. And you can't put them next to each other, but it just gives all of your mines that you place it on +4 production, which is really good. I've never managed to make use of this sort of stealth ability. I mean, it's like sure, whatever. +6 combat strength when defending, sure, whatever. You're probably not going to be defending too much as Bulgaria. You're going to be on the attack, safe to say. But yeah, a really good set of stuff here. Moving over to their civics. So when things start to snowball out of control a bit. So, first one, you unlock the Hidden Fortress. And you get this new, well, changed card. Tradition, False Retreat. Receive food to all towns when pillaging improvements equal to 50% of the yield or HP gained. And you receive a further -3 combat strength against fortified districts here if you plug this in. So that's bringing you down to -6 on units that are attacking walls and whatnot. So, if you haven't got the hint, the game does not want you to be taking over cities with Bulgaria. Yes, you would still benefit from doing that, but it's just not what they're geared towards. You're gonna have a hard time. But receiving food in all towns every time you pillage is amazing. So you plug this in, you pillage a tile. Chances are you're doing it for one movement, and you get food in all your towns, and you get production in all your cities every time you pillage. Which is really, really, really strong. Moving down to the mastery. Combat units receive +5 combat strength when you have at least 5 relics on display. This one's really random. Bulgaria has a bit of a relic thing going on as well, but just not in like any major way. Bit strange, to be honest. Moving on. The Hidden Fortress receives +2 culture for each adjacent mountain tile, and you get 2 migrants in the capital. I'm not sure if there's a historical reason why they get 2 migrants in the capital when they unlock this this civic here, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure there was some thought put into it. This one's not great. I mean, +2 culture for each adjacent mountain tile. You might be able to make that work sometimes, and I'm pretty sure rough terrain does tend to spawn around mountains more often than not, I want to say. But it's not gonna do you much good. So anyway, you're really just pushing through this one to get to this mastery, +50% yields and HP from pillaging. This blows open the door for all your other civics, or all your other abilities, rather. If you can pair this with, and maybe if I shift into this, will it let me? It will. I think I'll get a commander or something here, maybe. Can show off their promotions. Essentially, there's a promotion in I want to say the yellow tree. I didn't get a commander, so I'd have to do the advanced start stuff. Man, have I broken the game? Shift entered turn 1 in exploration. Does that break the game? Oh no. Hit confirm. Civ 7. Civ 7, can't do anything. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, you can force it through. You just get no advanced start, basically. That's a shocker. Anyway, we push through logistics here, down to looting, 3rd tier, and an additional plus 50% yield and HP from pillaging within the command radius. You probably want to get the extra radius range on one of these guys. This is insane. So pair those two together, you're getting double the pillage yields, which is already decent, but now you're also going to be doubling the amount of food you're giving to all your towns and doubling the amount of production you give to all your cities every single pillage. Insane. And you get +1 settlement limit as well, which is good. You want to have as many settlements as you can. You found a new settlement as Bulgaria, and you can like send that thing stratospheric really fast with all the food you're going to be giving it. It's good stuff. Down in this civic, we have the Rila Monastery. That's where you unlock that. You'll never get this, just PSA. So, where's it unlocked normally? Must be in the science tree. I remember it's early, and I know it's here. So, in theory, 3 techs to get to. For whatever reason, this is just the AI's jam, so you won't get this one ever. You will not get the Rila Monastery. I mean, I've never seen it happen, unfortunately, because it's a pretty good wonder. And this is another one, you know, like I was talking about the House of Wisdom. It gives you relic slots. Why does the House of Wisdom instantly fill them up? Rila Monastery does not. Receive a relic every time you build a wonder, including this one. Pretty rough to get. But even if you do, I mean, that'll give you a few relics over the course of the age if you go hard on wonders. And you kind of can, because you'll be getting so much free production that you can finish them so quickly, but I'd struggle to believe this would ever really pay off, but, you know, it's there. And down here, again, this is kind of like the weird relic theme they have going on, I suppose in keeping with the monastery. Great works provide +1 happiness and +1 gold as a tradition, and you get a free relic as well with this. Pretty awful. Pretty terrible, really. You'd be hard-pressed to probably want to plug this in Exploration, and you definitely won't be using this in the modern age. At best, in the modern age, it's giving you 15 gold and happiness, which is awful. Just doesn't scale very well. Again, Bulgaria, like I said before, Bulgaria doesn't need buffs, but why give them useless garbage like this? Like, compare iconolatry iconolatry to false retreat, and the power difference is just ridiculous. I mean, well, you know, they need to maybe they can tone down the pillaging stuff and tone up their relic gameplay, because I think they're the only civ that really cares about relics from memory. So they could carve out a niche there, and then if they introduce, you know, like the Vikings or, you know, something like that, Norway, eventually, I mean, they could be the sort of premier pillage civ, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, stuff like this is just, I hate it. I hate stuff that's just so useless. Why add it? Why add it if it's going to be so bad? Anyway, ending on a bit of a sour note there, but Bulgaria. I mean, what is there to say? They are really good. Are they better than the Abbasids, though? That's a tough one. Let me see if I can move over here. Hang on. Shift over to the tier list. It's a tough one. I don't know if any chatters chat. Do we have an opinion on this? Is Bulgaria better than the Abbasids? I think there's 2 questions. Are they better in the Exploration Age themselves? Possibly. But do the Abbasids set you up better for the modern age? Probably. And if we're going strictly off of the Exploration Age, I feel like Bulgaria probably takes it out. They've essentially gotten a buff to their Exploration Age performance, moving this production into their ability. So pretty hard to justify that not being the best in exploration when they already kind of were before. But they don't do much for you in modern, I guess. They kind of do leave you for dead. But in theory, you should have, you know, you should be getting a ton of wonders. You'll probably get a ton of the future civics and techs from all the yields you're getting from pillaging. It'll probably make everyone around you a lot weaker as well from pillaging their stuff, setting them back. So, tangentially moving you forward. I'm gonna put Bulgaria as number one, and a quick look through the rest of these would tell me that no one's probably going to beat that. Maybe the Shawnee, because we'll talk about them, what's coming on there. But yeah, Bulgaria, S tier civ. I don't think there's much more to say. We'll shift back and whoa, sorry, I couldn't read my chat while I was doing that. But B tier, go pack. I think you need to play with them again. They do one thing great. They definitely do only do the one thing. But the rewards for doing that one thing are so absurd. I cannot justify putting them in B tier. They have to go in S tier. I think the only question is whether or not they are better than the Abbasids. I get it. The Abbasids are very simple civ to pilot. You kind of just play them on autopilot, turtle down. No one can really attack you. Bulgaria requires a lot more effort and a lot of micro with your units, moving them around. But come on. Wargi International, Bulgaria forces you into war. They do. If you don't go to war with Bulgaria, or if you don't have any immediate neighbors, Bulgaria are pretty useless. They're pretty useless. Should I dock them a point for that? I don't think I can. I mean, you just have to know that you're going to have neighbors around you in antiquity. You wouldn't pick them unless that was the case. But does that mean they're not very consistent? I don't think so. What if I actually might have a cheeky improvement here as well? Sorry. Doing some streamer stuff in the background. Move this over here. Save me a bit of effort in future. So now I should be able to do this more seamlessly. Okay. Do I dock them a point for consistency? Also, that's where I'm going wrong. There we go. Okay. Now I can see the chat. No, I think I'll keep them on top. I just think you're not going to wipe out all of your neighbors and everyone around you in Civ 7 that easily. Not really something you can do. Legacy path system can have you in wars that don't progress the legacy path. I mean, like what though? Religion is so isolated that it doesn't really matter that you're at war with people. Like, you can be at war and they can't do anything to stop your missionaries anyway, because religion's just cooked. Culture, that's culture. Science, specialists, you're going to be getting a lot of food to your towns, which I guess doesn't really help with that, but getting a ton of production for your buildings to get those up. I guess you could say they don't have a great science legacy path. That's probably fair. Military, you can complete the military path pretty easily, just settling in distant lands and converting them to your religion. Not too hard to finish that, even at war. In economic, treasure fleets. Well, it's true that they aren't very good at completing the treasure fleets, but no one really is. Unless I think they said they changed something in the most recent patch around that, but as far as I know, it's still quite hard. So unless you're playing the Incans, the people whose name I can't remember, but the ones who settle on navigable rivers, Songhai, they're quite good at it. Anyway, I don't think that's too much of a downside for Bulgaria. legacy paths are optional, right? I mean, you don't have to do them. They give you pretty decent buffs in the next stage, but they aren't the be all and end all. You can turn them off, I guess, if you want. But even with them on, don't feel like you don't have to obsess over legacy paths. You're really just trying to win the game, right? Anyway, I'm going to keep them in S tier, and I'm going to keep them up the top. It's my tier list. I'll do what I want. Maybe I'll keep that up while I do a sneaky change in the background tier to the next Civ. We're just going to get some audio. Next up is Chola, India. And this is quite the change, back to quite the reversion to the norm, you could say. The Chola are not very good,
The greatest
really.
of the Tamil dynasties, the Chola lords rule the seas. Their touch extends outward, across networks of merchant houses to the poets and philosophers of the Sanskrit world, and to artists and scholars. Each seek to capture the dreams of the fleeting world for a time. Extend your grasp. Though the seas are ever changing, make your mark.
Okay, Chola. The first Civ I ever played in Exploration, my first game. First game, I think, was it was Green Xerxes, and I think I just played a bunch of gold Civs. I can't remember. Anyway, they're pretty terrible. That's what I remember about them. But they do have one really good unit, and we'll talk about them when we get there. Starting off, their ability. +1 trade route from the improved trade relations action. This is decent, but I mean, it's not like you just get that implicitly. You do still have to pay the influence. You just, go from 1 to 3. It's okay. They want to be trading, so this is, a step towards that, but I don't think it's that great. But, well, it's pretty good. I mean, it's going to save you a bunch of influence. You're probably going to do this like once with everyone. To get, 3 trade routes with everyone else is more than enough, probably. So, not bad, but not too crazy. And their temple, their unique wonder is that temple, which I dare not pronounce. +3 influence. All buildings gain a +1 happiness adjacency for navigable rivers. Garbage. This wonder is really terrible. Do not build it. It's just such a small bonus. I can't help but feel like this could be +2, +3 even, perhaps, and it wouldn't be broken. I don't know. Wonders like this, again, the balance of Civ 7 is so all over the shop. It's half the time it's like they just threw a dart, and whatever it landed on was the number they chose. I mean, this could be per age, perhaps, to make it a bit better. So at least it's a little bit better in modern, but I don't know, just a weird one. Yeah, not a great wonder. In fact, probably one of the worst wonders in the game, if I had to guess. Wonder tier list coming soon, of course. But here we go. The best part of the Chola. The Kalam. That wonder scales with specialists. In what way? In what way does the... I gave that a good ponder before I responded. How does this scale with specialists? You have to explain that one to me. The Kalam, the unique boat. So, very simple. +1 attack if you have the movement. So if you're standing still, you can fire twice. Yeah, it's really good. These boats are fantastic. And the good news is the AI doesn't really tend to build much of a navy. So if you are playing the Chola, you should abuse this boat, because it is a lot of your power budget, in my opinion. And the AI will not put up much of a fight unless they've changed something crazy, which I don't think they have. Essentially, having 2 boats for every one you build is pretty good, but it's even better than that, really, because it's 2 boats per tile, essentially. Really good. It's a really good unit. Not much to say. It's just, you can attack twice. So that is very strong. Unique unit number 2 is our naval commander. +1 movement and greater sight. I think it's +1 extra sight as well. Opposing military units in the command radius receive -3 combat strength. So a really fast boat. Really good for scouting, mind you. But, if, again, the AI is not very good at military navy conquest in the first place, but this makes them even worse. Going to help you combat that deity bonus. Adjacencies on buildings like World Announcer Ashoka. But how does that relate to specialists? That's the key point I'm curious about. I definitely, I totally get it. Like, yeah, it's basically giving you World Announcer Ashoka's ability just for navigable river buildings. How many navigable river buildings could we build with this start? I mean, you could kind of get like 1 there, or 2 there, I guess. 2 per tile, a few there. Like, it's going to be giving you, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 happiness. Is that worth it? I don't think so. I mean, it does, in theory, if you have a lot of navigable rivers, sure, it could be worse. They have a unique order. The 500 Lords. We'll get to that in a bit. The first building is +4 happiness and +1 gold adjacency for quarters and wonders. +1 happiness adjacency for gold buildings and wonders. And this is their unique happiness building. Must be placed adjacent to coast. Now, this civ has the highest rate of me accidentally placing the buildings in separate tiles, far and away. Or maybe it's... Must be placed adjacent to coast. Did they change this? I think they changed this recently. They must have. These used to have, I want to say, I'm pretty sure it was the Chola, 2 different requirements for their buildings. And as far as I can tell, they're the same now. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I used to always place these on very weird spots. I think they fixed that, which is good if they have. +5 gold. 1 gold adjacent to coastal terrain, which is great. Navigable rivers and wonders, same as a market. But you get +50% production towards naval units in that city when you build it. So again, playing to the naval combat themes. But yeah, but not much to be said. Joel's pretty straightforward. But if you build both of these in the same district, +5 land trade route range and +15 naval trade route range. So you're going to want to be going to war, but this will at least help you. If you're taking out your neighbors, for example, which you probably should be, then this will help you trade with people who are really far away, because your neighbors probably aren't going to like you very much. And note that you can't initiate a improved trade route relations with someone who is, what's the really aggressive one, where they hate you basically. So hard to trade more than once with someone who doesn't like you. This is an okay bonus. I mean, it's good. If you can get a lot of sea trade routes going, then it's good, but it doesn't really give you anything, it's just more trade route range, so it is what it is. Not off to a great start, I guess, for the Chola, and from memory it doesn't get much better, unfortunately. You get your first building here, but you also get +50% influence towards initiating the improved trade relations. So again, like this, this saves you influence. I mean, if I do another shift enter here, we'll reveal the AI and we can see exactly how much that costs. There's your ears blown out if they weren't already. So 60, this is on quick, I should add. So I want to say it's 120 by default on standard. So, that'll knock you down to, I think, 90 influence once you get this card. So that's all right. It's all right. It's not crazy. The mastery +2 resource capacity in the capital. That's fine. Again, you get the other building here, so there you go. You get them pretty quick, but it's nothing crazy. It's just, it is what it is. +2 resource capacity. Moving on. +1 gold from active diplomatic actions that, I'm not sure why it says they. Should really say you started or supported. This is terrible. This is basically, you're going to be getting maybe 1 or 2 gold at any given time from this. Really, really, really bad. +3 culture on gold buildings. This is good. Only one of these counts as a gold building by the looks of it, but that's a decent amount of culture. Not anything to write home about, but you're going to be building a gold building, probably 3 in every city. So, you know, good amount of culture. Doesn't scale very well, but it's alright. This one gives your boat, your unique boat, +1 movement and sight, which is pretty good. It's nothing like Carthage's +1 range, but it's not bad. Again, nothing too crazy though. -2 gold maintenance for naval units. That's okay. You know, maybe you have 6 or 7 boats if you're really going crazy. Let's say 10. You're just like going boat wild. That's +20 gold saved. That's okay. It takes up a slot though to plug that in, and you're not going to really care about that in the next stage. So pretty terrible again. And the monsoon winds. You finally get a settlement limit right at the end here after you trudge through all these terrible civics. +4 gold in settlements other than your capital if they have a water building. That's okay, I guess. I mean, most of your settlements are going to have a water building, quote unquote. It's going to be a fishing quay in towns. It's okay. It's an okay card. Like everything, it's just okay. The Otru receives the Convoys promotion, which I think it's not going to really show me easily. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm pretty sure that is the one that allows you to carry more things. Could be wrong. Anyway, a free promotion, that's not bad. You know, could be worse, but it's not like a free commendation. It's just a promotion, so it's not too insane. And then you get the temple, which I maintain is really bad. Like, really, really bad. So, their entire civic tree is awful. Their entire civic tree is really, really awful. Not really much more to say about it. All of these bonuses are just really minor. There's nothing here that I would even say is good. Maybe this culture one you could argue is decent. Maybe getting you know, if you really tried, could be about 100 culture near the end of the age, I guess. Everything else just sucks. It's just really bad. That's the Chola. Unfortunately, I can do a little swapsy over here. Unfortunately, yeah, the Chola are bad. They're a bad civ. Are they D tier? I've got to consider the sort of the relative power level of everyone else. Should they go in D? Who could possibly be worse? I think Hawaii's not great these days, but how many opinions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. But the Incans, keep in mind, they've got buffed like in every single patch, so don't rule them out. I think they're all right now. Majapahit, pretty good. Ming, Mongolia, I mean, Songhai aren't great. Songhai definitely aren't great, but I think there's just not enough to get them over the line. I mean, don't get me wrong, their water, maybe that's enough to push them over. Their naval stuff is really good. If you're on a map that, you know, facilitates naval warfare, the Chola are really, really good at that. They are probably the best. Yeah, I think they are the best in the game at naval warfare in exploration. So maybe you can't really justify D tier for that. I think I've convinced myself that the Chola can go in the C tier. I think that's fine. I mean, they're going to be at the bottom of the pack, but they just snuck in because their boat is really, really good. The commander's whatever. But the boat is really good. I'm not really happy about this. I kind of hate the Chola, but I can't deny that they have one good thing going for them. So sure, they can just sneak into C tier. Okay, I'm going to take a little break again. I won't be using the YouTube thing this time. All right, but I'll see you back in, I don't know, a minute or two, I guess. See how we go. See you then. All right, welcome back. Who are we up to? Hawaii. This will be an interesting one to talk about because they have been butchered, basically. If you'd played them semi recently, I guess. I'll set this on standard so we can get some realistic numbers. Yeah, Hawaii, if you played the game at launch, then you would think they were one of the best civs when it came to culture. Hard to beat Hawaii. Not the case anymore, unfortunately.
The world's greatest sailors, the Hawaiians, venture forth when all others fail. With the blessing of their kahuna, they brave the blue expanse in search of new lands to sow with taro, new treasures to collect, and new legacies to forge. The conch is blowing. The wind is right. It is time for the oar to bite water.
Yes, as I was saying, Hawaii, they got hit pretty hard, and I don't really know why Firaxis butchered Hawaii like this. I mean, it was like the first update as well. You know, people still getting used to the game, still figuring out the mechanics, and for whatever reason, they just like decimated Hawaii. I don't know why. I mean, they weren't even that crazy. Like, if there was any civ that needed to be nerfed, it was probably the Abbasids. But anyway, rip Hawaii. But let's get into it. They gain 25 culture each time a settlement expands to marine terrain, which is okay. It's doesn't sound very impressive, but you do get this right from the start, and you're going to be expanding a lot. So, you know, it adds up. It adds up pretty quickly over time. +1 happiness on fishing boats. You know, you're going to be expanding on marine terrain, obviously, as previously noted. But +1 happiness, that's not great, but it's fine. This is a little bit better than it might seem because it applies on a per city basis. It doesn't just add the yields to your empire. In general, giving your cities bonuses is giving your cities a bonus, a yield, is better than it being an empire-wide yield. Particularly happiness. That way, if you're just giving your like your empire 10 happiness, that's whatever. That just goes towards celebrations. For giving a city +10 happiness, that's potentially keeping them out of being unhappy, which would negatively impact all of your yields. So a small note there that, you know, it's could be worse. And they get +30% production towards constructing this wonder, which is I think it's must be in the science tree, I guess. Anyway. Constructing a building on coastal terrain grants culture equal to 50% of its cost, 3 relic slots, and it must be placed adjacent to coast, but not adjacent to tundra. I didn't know that was a requirement, but there you go. This is fine. Does anyone know if this applies empire-wide, actually? Or is this... It's not worded to say it's only in this city. If it's empire-wide, that's not too bad, I guess. But... particularly if it's city, it's pretty bad. I wouldn't really care too much about whether you get this wonder or don't. It doesn't even give you like a cultural attribute point, which would redeem it in a big way. It's okay. 3 relic slots, and once again, it's no House of Wisdom. It doesn't fill them up automatically. So, thumbs down there. It's okay. Not a great wonder. Don't go too crazy over it. The unique unit is infantry, so not off to a good start. +3 combat strength against infantry and cavalry units, which is everything except ranged, and commanders, I guess. So that's fine. And they receive culture from defeating enemy units. Note that they don't say in there what the ratio is, but I think it's 50%. The useless Civipedia strikes again for not giving me any information on what receives culture is. So for all I know, that could be 1,000. It's obviously not. I think it's 50% of the culture of the defeated enemy unit's combat strength, I believe, but I'd have to confirm. I have to check the wiki, unfortunately. We get the Kahuna, the unique missionary. It has an action to heal adjacent units. How much? Nobody knows, because they don't tell you. And they receive 25 gold when you convert a settlement, which is a pretty terrible amount of gold, really, but you do get That's in addition to the standard rate, which I think is 50 gold for missionaries when you convert a city. So, I mean, still not great, but it is free money, so there you go. Probably a few hundred gold over the course of the age, which, when I say it out loud, sounds even worse. But the action to heal adjacent units is pretty good, actually. I'm gonna have to look this unit up. This is shocking. I can't commentate on this without knowing what they do. No, the wiki doesn't even have it. The wiki doesn't even tell you how much it heals for. I think it's 50. You just get the one charge, but still, this is like those apostles. No, what were they? Mystics. The one in Civ 6, the religious unit. So you whack this guy in the middle of a bunch of your Leomanos, probably. Your units, they're injured. You heal them all up. You can heal, I guess, 7 at once if you put them in the middle. So pretty decent, really. They have a unique improvement. The Loai Carlo. +3 food and 2 production. Adjacent farms receive +1 culture. And that's it, really. Must be placed on an improvement on grassland or tropical. This is really hard to make use of, particularly the culture bonus. It's such a strange building to give to Hawaii as well, because they're obviously like a seafaring kind of island-focused nation. See, having a unique improvement that gives a bonus to adjacent farms, not fishing boats? Like, why not fishing boats? This could be a great avenue for them if they wanted to buff Hawaii, and I think they really, really should look into that. This should probably read +1 culture to adjacent fishing boats. And then it would make sense to kind of put it in interesting places. Like, I understand there are buildings there, but like here, or down here, where it can hit a bunch of different tiles. I think that would actually make Hawaii's city planning quite interesting, but I mean, I guess this does in its own way if you try to plan around farms, but you're not going to plan around farms. Everything else about Hawaii says don't improve farms, improve fishing boats. Like, you want to expand onto marine terrain at every opportunity. So I don't know what they were thinking with this one. This is probably the most confusing improvement in the game. It's like giving Bulgaria a unique siege unit. Like, it just doesn't gel at all. It goes completely against the philosophy of the Civ. So bizarre. Completely bizarre. Moving over to the civics. We have mana. +2 culture for every time a storm, flood, or volcanic eruption has provided fertility this age. Now this reads to me as retrospectively working, which would be good, retroactively working. But it's pretty early in the tree here. I really like these effects, but they are pretty bad. This only works if it's in your terrain. This is my understanding anyway. Again, the wording here is so horrifically ambiguous that it's a bit up to your interpretation, but I'm pretty sure it's +2 culture every time a storm, flood, or a volcano happens in your territory, or provided fertility. So yeah, not great. I mean, in theory, if you've got a lot of volcanoes nearby, then consider Hawaii, I guess, for this, but you wouldn't pick them for this bonus. It just kind of ticks up in the background while you're playing. So, but you can't play around this at all. You can't really do anything. I guess settle volcanoes, but volcanoes are already pretty good, so you should probably be on them anyway. Next one, the mastery. +50% production towards constructing culture buildings. This is a tradition you can carry through to the next stage. That's pretty good. There's a very similar card, I think the exact same card in Antiquity, but obviously you lose it. I mean, there's only 2 culture buildings you can create. Hawaii doesn't have a unique culture building, so this just applies to your, it's a kiln and an amphitheater, I think, a pavilion. A kiln and your pavilion. That's all. You can build those 50% faster if you plug that in. So one of these ones that you would plug in and out as you needed it. And when you defeat an enemy unit with a Leomano, gain culture equal to 25% of the defeated unit's strength, which is kind of at odds with what I was saying before. I was probably thinking of that. So how much culture do you get when you defeat an enemy unit? Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you, and I'm not going to find out because I can't. Not easily anyway. Down to this Civic. This is where you unlock your building. That is really bad. Probably, I mean, build them where you can if you want, but they're pretty horrendous. +2 culture for the improvement in settlements with a pavilion. I mean, what a terrible effect. The pavilion comes really late, so the pavilion is it's in the science tree, which always gets me. But it's back here at architecture, so one of the last ones you unlock. So by the time you get that, you're probably going to be making hundreds or thousands of culture. So having +2 culture on, you know, the 2 or 3 improvements you have is not going to do much for you. Useless. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Probably wouldn't even ever bother spending the culture to unlock this because it'll never pay itself off. I don't think this would ever have a net positive return on culture, to be honest. Although I would like to see now that I mean, it's not going to work, but if someone can do a land Hawaii run, that would be amazing. And I would be interested to see how far you could push that. But I'm going to say not very far. We have a tradition here. +1 culture on marine terrain. I think this used to be +2, which was really good. +1 now. Correct me if I'm wrong. You get +2 relics here, which is fine. It's a bit random, but sure. And you get +1 settlement limit as well, which is good, but comes a bit late. The mastery here is where you get your wonder. And +1 happiness on marine terrain in towns following your religion. Doubled in cities, which is pretty good. I mean, you are probably going to have a fair bit of marine terrain, so +2 happiness on all of those. If they've got fishing boats on them, which they probably will, then that's +3 if you include your ability. So a lot of happiness, which is fine. And the Kahuna receives a second healing charge as well, which, again, don't really think of Hawaii as a combat civ, but they're actually really good at it. I wish their unique unit was a bit better, but they can just abuse these missionaries, basically, and units become unkillable. Bring 2 or 3 missionaries along with you to your wars, and Hawaii will probably surprise you. They, for whatever reason, are suspiciously strong at combat. But Hawaii, I mean, it's such a weird civ now. They've really tempered the direction that they wanted to take for, which was just, you know, all out water, all out marine terrain, expanding, building fishing boats, getting culture, promoting your religion. One of the few civs that actually benefits from having your religion in your own territory, which was nice. They still have that, but just so weird. For me, if I'm going to offer a little change here that no one asked for, this unique improvement should apply to adjacent fishing boats, not farms. That's all I have to say on the matter. But yeah, Hawaii, unfortunately, has been kneecapped in a big way. I'm not sure where I would put them. Let me pull up the thing here. Gotta press that. So where are we going to put Hawaii? B tier? I mean, are they better than the Chola? Probably. They're definitely better at the Chola than sort of peacetime affairs, I would say. That, you know, Chola really are, you know, they are good at naval combat. Let's not discount that. But Hawaii, I think that they are better. I mean, you do get a fair bit of culture, you get a fair bit of happiness from all your boats. But there's just not much going on, really, is there? Maybe they have to go into C tier as well. I don't know. They would have been in, like, probably S tier previously. So, like, this goes to show you that the fact I'm considering putting them in C is I mean, no Civ should suffer such a fate to get kicked down this badly. B tier, is that fair? I mean, what's good about them? What's good? The culture when you expand to marine tile is good. I mean, you know, their healing missionaries are good. You know, you get +1 culture on marine terrain. That's okay. I don't think I can put them in. I don't think I can put them in B. I hate to say it. I think Hawaii is going to have to go down in C tier. They can. I'm going to try to make an effort to order these as well, but I think they have to go in C. Is that crazy? I don't think it is. Yikes. It was only when I just sort of read them out then that I really absorbed just how bad their cards are now. But yeah, I think that's not unfair. Yep. Hawaii can go in C tier. Sorry, Hawaii. I'll get the next Civ going here. If you are still watching out there, you can drop a like, and I'll keep going. Fair few more to go though. Jeez, might get a bit late. I just get so carried away with some of these. They're really, compared to leaders, there's so much more to talk about, really, isn't there? Okay, we'll shift back. And we'll let Gwendolyn Christie do her thing.
Stony Heights. The Inca create an empire where few others dare to tread. Guided by the condor's flight and the puma's track, they chart connections from peak to peak, building fortresses in the mountains. From these heights,
Can't believe they didn't give us Pachacootie. That's brutal. I'll move that. And, okay, Inca. This is going to be hilarious to talk about because of what I'm looking at here. Just a classic Incan start, really. Having no mountains, which is typical. So, we're playing J-Riz. The Incans. They have been changed a lot recently, which is good because they could have easily taken the D tier slot before this, but we'll see how they go now. They can work mountain terrain, which is fine. +2 food and +1 production on mountain terrain, which is fine. You're probably still not going to be working that many mountain tiles realistically, but there you go. They can generate homeland treasure fleets in cities with 3 worked mountains after completing that civic, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is up here. So it's not like it's that deep in the tree, really. Pretty easy to get to, so you can start generating treasure fleets really early as the Incans, which is pretty cool. You know, I wish every Civ almost, like, you could make every Civ have something like this, and I would enjoy that. If that, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Probably one of the only Civs, maybe the only Civ that can pretty much guarantee an economic victory, or economic legacy path, rather, finishing that, and exploration, because they've, yeah, it's quite difficult these days, depending on the map, of course, and the age length. But then, a really good bonus at the bottom here, plus 30% production towards Machu Picchu. Now, Machu Picchu you usually don't get until, I guess it's the science tree again, right at the end here at urban planning. And Machu Picchu also happens to be one of the best wonders in the game. I would, without thinking about it too hard, would say the best wonder in exploration for sure. But yeah, insanely good wonder. Unfortunately, I think it's still bugged. It doesn't carry over into modern, the effect, but wow. +4 culture and gold on all buildings adjacent to this wonder. Ignore the resource capacity for a sec. Imagine, and this is very easy to do, but you put, you know, you build your buildings around this mountain here. +4 gold and culture on each building, so that's 8 per tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles around the mountain. So 48 culture and gold from Machu Picchu is pretty crazy. It's such a good wonder. It's such a good wonder. Yeah, not much more to say. So they basically get a guaranteed Machu Picchu, which is pretty huge. They unlock it super fast, so it's good stuff. Okay, they have a unique range unit. +1 movement, it ignores movement from rough terrain, movement penalties. +5 combat strength when attacking from rough terrain. Hang on, I've got the Civ police have found me. Sorry if you heard that. It's pretty good. You know, those are some decent abilities. Movement and ignoring rough terrain is good. +5 combat strength when attacking from rough is good. If you can make use of it, it's pretty decent. But Incan's not really a war civ at all. They don't really have anything to help them with that apart from that unit, so engage with caution, I would say. But they have a unique scout, which I think is the only one in the game that's a pure scout. The Jaguar Slayer from the Maya, you know, it can fight, so it's kind of a bit of both. But this thing's a beast, actually. I hate to say it, but this unique scout is kind of one of the best parts of Inca, or at least it used to be. It ignores mountains and rough terrain. So, yeah, the site that is. This thing can see so far. You'd be surprised how much you don't realize mountains are blocking your scouts like all the time. This thing is such a beast. It can also go through water from memory. Like it counts as a civilian unit, I think. So typically you would need to pack your units into a commander for them to be able to cross deep ocean. I'm pretty sure, maybe it was a bug, but the Chasqui, whatever it's pronounced, this scout can cross water, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's low-key great. If you're playing on continents and you need to go explore the new Distant Lands continent, this thing will map it out so quick. It's crazy. Yeah, build like probably at least one, but probably 2 of these, and yeah, you'll be in good stead. If you're playing on Pangaea, then, you know, I think the value of that scout goes kind of way down, but still, it's not bad. Lastly, we have the terrace farm. +4 food and 1 gold adjacency for buildings. Inca and unique improvement. So this used to be awful. You used to not, like, you would play the Inca and never be able to build a terrace farm. It used to have really, really rough requirements, no pun intended. So now, I think all you need to do is place it on rough terrain without a river or feature. So, I mean, Inca, never change. But we have 1 tile here, we could build it on there. And that's it. So I guess all that is old is new again. In our capital here, we have 1 spot for a terrace farm. That's feels pretty unlucky, although that's kind of what it used to feel like as well. So sorry about that, Inca. But yeah, not great. The terrace farm has, unfortunately, a lot of cards relying on it. So for this particular start, we'd be a bit salty. But let's move over to that. So you unlock the terrace farm straight away. You get a tradition here, plus 15% food in settlements with a city center adjacent to a mountain, or with 3 worked mountain tiles. This is fine. Incans, you know, they're good with food, so this would trigger on this city, for example, or, you know, if you had one off and could work 3 tiles, that's fine. Mountains aren't that uncommon, but in saying that, I mean, again, you'd be pretty mad with the start if you were playing a real game, because there's no mountains around me, so again, classic Inca. Anyway, it's alright. This one's fine, I guess. I'm not sure why the gold thing is showing up there for that gold adjacency. Yep. Anyway, moving on. +1 happiness to mountain tiles, and you unlock Machu Picchu here. That's fine. You're probably going to unlock this for Machu Picchu, not for the happiness to mountain tiles. I guess that's just a nice bonus on top, but it's not really crazy at all. Inconsequential, you would say. Probably going to be giving you, less than 10 happiness for most of the age, so ignore that. Just get the wonder. This is the Civic where they unlock the new treasure convoy thing. 2 points each on those. Pretty great. I think that's really good. It's a lot of gold generation as well. Keep in mind that every time you cash one of these new treasure fleets in, it's 200 gold because they give you 2 points. Received 25% of the gold from trade income as food. I think I may have said something else was the worst in the game. This must be the worst policy card in the game. 25% of the gold from trade income as food. I mean, first of all, is that in every city? Because that would be redeemable. But it's not, is it? I bet if someone initiates a trade route. So first of all, you have to hope people trade with you for this to do anything. And if they do, and they trade in a city that has, say, 5 resources, I think in exploration, correct me if I'm wrong, that would be 15 gold. So this tradition is going to be giving you a whopping 3 and a bit gold, 3.75 food if you plug this in. Less than 4 food. And that's if someone decides to trade with you on average. I mean, sure, if you had a ton of resources and everyone was getting a piece of the pie, then even in that case, you wouldn't pick it. Like, there's no situation where you're ever going to plug this card in. I think it's so bad. What were they thinking? I mean, they're clearly looking at Inca as well, right? Like, unless I'm reading this wrong, and I could be. But they've looked at Inca, they've given them, like, balance updates to this exact Civic. But they left this tradition untouched? Come on, what are we doing out here? Like, what is that? What? Anyway. It's funny, when you really go over these civs with a fine tooth comb, you realize just how much rubbish they've packed into some of these civs, right? Like, I'm focusing in on this one Civic, but that makes me so mad. The final thing here, rough terrain does not end the movement of any Incan unit. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a cool effect. Yeah, if you're still moving units around and if you are going to war, I guess. But just scouting in general, this is pretty great. Yeah, not much more to say. It's good, but my god, this Civic is it's just like up and down. What a roller coaster of effects. The Warakak gains the poison ability, +5 combat strength against wounded units. Again, I wish this poison ability was actually poison and made units take damage over time. Mark my words, in 5 years, they're going to actually make that poisonous. I think this is sort of setting up for a damage over time effect that didn't make it into release. That's my guess. And they get another tradition here. Settlements receive half a gold for every urban population and half a production for every rural. This is not bad. Could be a lot worse. You can see just my capital here is giving me 5 of each. So if you have, a fair few settlements going, it's not bad. Keep in mind that, yeah, it does apply to settlements, so not just cities, towns as well. So, a pretty decent tradition. By Incan standards, this actually goes alright, so don't laugh too hard at that. +2 food on terrace farms and settlements with a granary. You're probably going to have a granary, so you can ignore that part. You can have one everywhere, really. +2 food on terrace farms, though. That's okay. I mean, for me right now, just yawned. That would be +2 food. That's all the effect would do, so pretty horrendous, really. Again, terrace farms are a lot easier to build now, but as you can see, it's still not great. Maybe if you play Greece in antiquity, you're gonna have a fair bit of rough terrain, but still a bit of a struggle, unfortunately. And then farms and terrace farms receive +3 food if adjacent to at least one mountain. Again, kind of plays into their vibe. Previously, they had to place terrace farms next to mountains. They couldn't go anywhere else. Luckily, that's changed a bit. But a bit of flavor was lost there. So in some ways, I'm glad that, you know, they still have this kind of effect to want to put them next to mountains, but not great. Overall, pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, the Incan's got a really cool buff with this new treasure fleet path they can do. You know, farming mountains for treasure convoys, I should say, not fleets. But it's still, I mean, they have a lot of work to do. Pachacuti's, you know, like a real standout with leaders now, but his associated civ is still a bit of struggle street. In saying that, though, if I was playing in Antiquity and, you know, I unlocked the Inca, and I looked around and I had a ton of rough terrain, like over here maybe, if there's, you know, some more mountains, then this would be a really good city. If you can build them, the terrace farm is really great. It's just still moderately difficult to build them. So, look, don't count them out. I think the Incans, they've slowly been getting better and better with each patch. Being able to finish the economic path is good. If you want to keep all your cities as cities, then you got that going for you with the Golden Age. Terrace Farm, you know, it is an improvement that will carry through to the next stage, which is good. Food is a lot better than it was, so, you know, the Incans, they could do a lot worse. I'll pull up our tier list here, and what do we say about them? I mean, what is there to say? I think they can probably eke their way into B tier. Maybe. Are they better than Hawaii? It's really just the economic path that's carrying them. I don't know if I could say they're better than Hawaii, to be honest. Are they? If anyone has an opinion, chime in. But I don't know. I don't think the economic path is enough to carry them, right? Like, what else do they do that's actually good? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I've overhyped them a bit even. Are they still D tier? I'm looking back at maybe I'll change my screen back here. Like, what is actually good about them? They get Machu Picchu. Guaranteed. That is really good. That is really good. And they get it early. And, you know, Machu Picchu is good when you get it late game. Machu Picchu is insane early. So, hey, just getting that is tempting me to keep them in C. This is awful, this card. This card's okay. And the terrace farm's okay. And this tradition's not bad if you can work it. I think I'll have to put them in C as well. Just the most insanely situational civ, really. Growth carries better than culture in the next stage. That is true. That is true. Like, growth helps you a lot now, just in general. So, look, they can survive D tier prison, but man, I don't know. They still feel pretty average, really. Man, these are some bad civs. Like, these are really not great. Next up's not bad. The Majapahit hit. Yeah, not ideal. I think that's fair. I think C tier is fair. I think their abilities are so weak. Yeah, look, growth is better now, but I don't know. I think that's fair. Okay, Hawaii. Sorry, okay, Inca, you can supplant yourself firmly there with the rest of the chumps in C. C for chump. And we'll go ahead and get the next one loaded up here, which will be the Majapahit. And I'm going to go have a quick break and have a drink of water. So I'll see you soon to rank the Majapahit. We're back. I'm streaming the wrong screen. You didn't see that.
Bringing with them tales of heroes and gods. As the sun the Majapahit poets, and divinity is power.
Okay. Man, this has taken a long time. I guess if you thought that it was bad when you watched the video, you have no idea how much I cut out. And to get it down, quote unquote, to only an hour and 55 minutes. I really do get carried away with this stuff. It's just so interesting to talk about though, right? And I hope you guys enjoy it as well, because I love it. I really do. Okay. All cities, except the capital, receive +1 specialist limit. That's a pretty good effect. The Majapahit are weird, because they kind of don't like their capital. It's weird. We'll get into it, but all your cities getting +1 specialist limit is a pretty good effect. So a good start. After the exploration age, the specialist limit increase goes away. So a bit of a weird to them to like call this out specifically, but fair enough, I guess. At least they were clearing, one thing they did. Yeah, definitely a strange one. Plus 30% production towards constructing Borobudur. Borobudur is a good wonder. Now, where is it? Plus 3 happiness by default, and plus 2 food and happiness on quarters. Must be placed adjacent to coast. So this basically makes your specialist free. Cancels out, the effects, right? So a good wonder. It's like the better Colosseum, essentially. A good one to have. You'll note, though, it comes late in their tree, but it's not too bad because it's late in the other tree as well, pretty sure. Not a bad start, so you get the gist. They like specialists. Keep moving on. We have the, is it the Ket Bang or the Set Bang? Either way, it's a unique unit, which I always think looks like a siege unit. Like, this icon is a siege unit icon, right? That's clearly a trebuchet, but obviously not. Plus 5 combat strength against other naval units, and it can pillage within 2 tiles for 1 movement. This is really strong. The only contender for naval combat to the Chola here. The pillaging is really nice. Being able to pillage, 2 tiles inland with these guys is pretty crazy. So don't discount that. You can get a lot of good pillaging from these things, and pillaging is still really strong in Civ 7. Easily forgotten compared to Civ 6, which was insane, but it's still good here. We get the Pedanda, the unique missionary. Spread a religion action, and they receive 25 culture and gold when you convert a settlement for the first time. Not bad, similar to Hawaii, but a straight up improvement, actually, I think, isn't it? I think Hawaii only got the gold. This one gives culture and gold. It's solid. It's a bit of free culture, a bit of free gold as you spread your religion, and you probably should be, just in general, to get the relics, because it's free. It's free real estate. Religion is so undercooked in Civ 7 right now that there's no real downside to just spreading it everywhere, so do that. And they get a unique quarter. And maybe this is the one I was thinking about. Coastal terrain. Oh yeah, this could have been it, actually. Anyway, we get the Maru, plus 5 happiness, and plus 1 happiness adjacency for mountains and wonders. Plus 2 happiness on natural wonders. And you get this one down here, plus 5 culture, and plus 1 culture adjacency for coastal terrain, navigable rivers and wonders. I did not mean to go out there. So yeah, these 2 buildings are strange. I may have been getting them confused with the Chola before, because the icons look kind of similar, I guess. This one wants to be built near mountains, which tend to be inland. I mean, I'm just going off of vibes there, but that's just a general feeling I've got from playing a few games, although there are 2 mountains here. But even still, you can see there's not really many good spots to build this. So the other building wants to be on the coast, like a market. So, this is where you'd build it, I guess. Yeah, it's a weird one. The placements for this are very strange, so keep that in mind. Very careful to place them together. Created by constructing these in the same district. Plus 10% gold towards converting a town to a city. So this stacks as far as I know. So you build 3 or 4 of these, and converting to a city can become quite cheap, which is good because cities can get specialists, which the Majpahit likes. You also get 1 relic when you complete this, which is pretty solid. So, just make as many of these as you can. Obviously, unique quarters are great, so build them. A pretty solid B tier set of bonuses, really, if we're being honest. Just from that. Let's go over to the civics. That's where you unlock the Maru, the first building, and plus 33% food towards maintaining specialists is their tradition. So pair them with the Kamai in antiquity, and your specialists start to become almost negligible in how much they cost, which is pretty cool. The mastery, the Pedanda grants an extra 25 culture when it converts a settlement. That's their missionary, so just a bit more culture. This is strikingly similar to Hawaii, now that I think about it. Some of these cards here, even the order of them. Down here, Wei Young, we get the other half of their quarter, and +1 culture from specialists, not in your capital. Not a bad card. Again, it's a weird one because your capital tends to be your best city, but with the Majapahit hit, probably not. They like specialists to be not in their capital. Plug this in if you need culture. That's about it, really. Nothing too crazy. And plus 25% production towards overbuilding. So it's a bit annoying that it's down here. If they wanted to buff them, they could probably shift this up because overbuilding's only really like it's best early in the age when you are, bulldozing stuff. The later you get this, the worse it is. So if you can find the time, you should get this because that's pretty good. It's no Abbasid, it's no Abbasid that's 50% production towards buildings in general, not even overbuilding, and twice as good. But hey, we can't all be Abbasids. Next one, Subak. +1 culture and +1 production on marine terrain cities. Again, this is a better Hawaii card, really. Hawaii's just +1 production, just +1 culture, so you get the free production here as well, which is pretty cool. Not too crazy, but if you're on the coast, then it's good. Plug it in. It's not too bad. I should say as well. Culture buildings receive a +1 happiness adjacency for coastal terrain, which is not bad. Again, kind of this weird theme of wanting to put your culture buildings near mountains for the culture, but also by the coast, which is just a really hard combination to fill. So yeah, a bit of a weird one. Unless they fix the map generation to sort of favor them a bit more than like this weird Twilight Zone they put the Majapahit in, where they're like a mountain coastal civ, is a bit odd. The mastery here, +5 combat strength to naval units against land units, is pretty good. Naval units are really good at taking out land units, so bombarding people from the ocean, this makes them better. So pick this up if you are going to war. Finally, +2 culture and quarters is pretty great. You're going to end up with a lot of quarters as you progress throughout the age, so this is going to be giving you a ton of culture, which is pretty good. Pretty good. You get your settlement limit here right at the end, and you unlock Borobudur back here too. So Borobudur is up at bureaucracy. In my experience, well, look, you're going to want to get this anyway. This gives you constitution, which further reduces your specialists again. But in my experience, the AI doesn't really prioritize going for this, so you are safe to hold off a bit, I think. Either way, it's pretty far down the tree here. It's the same amount of civics to get there, whether you go via your tree or the general one, so not ideal. But there you go. That's the Majapahit. They really are just a decent civ, I think, all around. This is like the typical B tier civ. All their bonuses are solid, but not mind-blowing. They're all generally good, but doesn't do anything particularly great. Like they're a culture sort of religion civ. Bit of gold thrown in here too every now and then, but nothing too crazy. Look, they want to build specialists, so do that. Whether that be, focusing on culture or science, specialists are good either way. So we'll bring our little tier list up. Bada bing. Where are the Majapahit going to go? I feel pretty confident they can go in B tier. They don't do anything particularly great, but they are just fine. And I think if you went the Khmer in the first stage, and for whatever reason, you're doing a challenge, you got sick of the Abbasids, and you want to play something different, then pick the Majapahit. They're good with specialists. Between the Khmer and the Majapahit, you can essentially make your specialists free, or getting very close to that stage. So yeah, an interesting sort of fun playstyle. Just note that, remember, you lose that specialist limit increase on the next stage. And you should also really try to get, I think it's Angkor Wat in Antiquity that increases your specialist limit. You should really try to get that as well if you are going to be playing these people. So yeah, the Majapahit can go in B tier. This is going to take a really long time to rank these all. I think I may have to call it here soon, or we can just very quickly maybe power through the rest of these, or maybe I'll take a quick break. I think I'll have a quick break. I'm going to take a few of those, granted. Apologies. When we come back, we'll smash these out, I guess. We'll quickly throw some rankings together, and then I'll probably call it there, I'd say. But we'll see. If everyone piles in here at the end, then, you know, I'm amenable to sticking around. But we'll see how we go. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, let's do it. We are not going to go as in depth with the other civs here because it's getting a bit late. So let's just go ahead and rank what we have left. Apologies if you come late and you're expecting some quality, in-depth news reporting. We don't do that anymore here. We are not Daily Civ 7 News anymore. You're gonna have to you get what you get, and you don't get upset, right? Okay. Ming. We'll just move them out here so we know what we're working on. So the Ming, I think, are pretty good, actually. And I will say, without being able to go into their cards and get too carried away with some of the details, the Ming do have something that synergizes well with urban centers. And as we know, the game is all about urban centers right now. Getting sick of saying those words. But the Ming have a bonus to buying buildings in towns. It's like a 25% gold discount, I think, which is pretty solid. They have a really big capital. So their main ability is that their capital gets, I think it's 50% more science, which is a huge bonus, but minus 15 flat science for every policy in your government. That's not a tradition. So a bit of a weird one. You want to make sure your Antiquity Age Civ had some really good traditions so you can fill your government with those instead. But yeah, pretty strong. And the Great Wall is really good too. The Great Wall is really fantastic. Their wonder is the Forbidden City, which is would be pretty terrible if it wasn't for the Great Wall. But with the Great Wall, great stuff. If you can get the Serpent's Mound as well, it just works really well. Your Great Walls can be like giving sort of in the realm of sort of 15 to 20 yields each from memory. So really strong stuff. I think the Ming, I actually liked them. I liked them when I first played them. And then I thought, no, they're pretty bad because I don't like the downside of, you know, less science from your policy cards. But I've really come around to them. I think they're... is it crazy to rank them in A tier without even looking at some of their civics? It might be, but these are rapid fire rankings now, so you have to call me out if you disagree. But I think I don't think that's too crazy. Maybe they're closer to B. Whoa! How did that work? Someone just subscribed. What does that say? What is that? Pravlax? Gravlax? I hope I said that right. I didn't know those were set up. That was a bit of a jump scare for me. Thank you so much for subscribing. That was great. Glad to know that notification works. Gravlax, there you go. Sorry, it's a bit hard to read. I think it got cut off or something. But anyway, good to have you here. Thanks for the subscription. I'm glad my notifications work, I guess. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Cool. Anyway, Ming in A tier. I think that's not unreasonable. We have a lot of bad civs down here. I think they're better than the Majapahit hit, because the Ming does something really well, and that is science. And the Great Wall too is really good. You could even say it's great. I think this is a reasonable spot to put them. Sounds good. All right, Mongolia, a very, very interesting civ. Really, this one's probably pretty simple to dive into, which is to say, if you enjoy domination, you will enjoy Mongolia, specifically land-based domination. They have a unique legacy path sort of option available to them, where they don't have to go and settle the distant lands. They don't have to go and conquer in the distant lands. The downside is they only get 1 point for every settlement they conquer, but settlements in your homelands count towards the military legacy path, which is pretty interesting. Again, I love these civs that have unique legacy pathways, and I think it's something we'll be seeing a lot more of with updates to the game. It wouldn't surprise me if the first expansion for Civ 7 really ramps up the legacy paths and makes them paths, I guess, branching paths rather. So, the economic one could be, well, let's take domination one. So, 12 settlements in distant lands, that could be one, or converting settlements to distant lands, or Mongolia, a lot more homeland ones, or the economic one could be around trade routes, or it could be around resources or treasure convoys. There's a lot they could do. Anyway, sidetrack. But how good is Mongolia at domination? They're really good. They are really, really good. And yes, they don't have to worry too much about the rat race to get over to the other sort of distant lands, continent, if you are playing on that sort of map. If you're playing on Pangaea, then Mongolia can be your jam. They can just chill and do their own thing and dominate their neighbors. The units are really good. I've forgotten the name that on here. Is it the Keshik? But it's the ranged one on cavalry, the sort of horseback archer. It's really good. They have a unique commander as well that's really good. Mongolia knows what it wants to do, and it's very good at it. So I don't find them very fun at all, I should add. Not really like a hardcore domination guy generally. So for that sin of not being a playstyle I enjoy, I'm tempted to put them in B, but I think that's a bit harsh. I think they are really good at what they do, and they have a unique legacy path to accomplish it. So good for you, Mongolia. You were the one that paved the way for the unique legacy path playstyle, and I love it. I love it for you. Okay, on to the Normans. Now, this is an interesting one. I saw another Civ YouTuber you might know who's just recently had a kid as well. Congratulations to Ryan. Anyway, Ryan and co, I should say. He, I think, put the Normans in S tier on his most recent Civ, or really high up regardless, which did strike me as odd. I think the Normans are fine. Better than some of these people down here in the doldrums, for sure. But the Normans, maybe I should get these people up. It's been a while since I've played them. So they're all about walls, which is always interesting. They get a bunch of culture from walls. I'm not going to be able to do these people. I'm going to do them a disservice, to be honest, if I try to do the Normans off memory. So let's go back into the game, actually. I think you're still looking at my screen, but I'm going to load up a quick game as the Normans. Because I'm scared I'm going to get my rating wrong. There's a lot of pressure here to conform and put them really high up as well, but I need to confirm that's actually that's right. I remember playing them in one of my very early games and thinking, wow, these people are really bad, or at least underwhelming. So see how we go. I'm cutting off the commentary. That's how desperate we are to get in. So start with their abilities, I guess. Land units receive 1 movement when embarked, and land units adjacent to coast receive +5 combat strength. That's fine. I think that's not too crazy. It's only land units that get this combat strength bonus on coast, mind you, so bit niche, bit hard to satisfy, but you know, good if you're thinking of taking over the distant lands. Really in stark contrast to Mongolia, who's happy to ignore them. The Normans are very good at going over there and building up forts very quick and bunkering down. The Chevlar here, if that's how you pronounce it, +3 combat strength against slower units, which is infantry, to start with anyway. So that's fine. +3 combat strength is just whatever. That's fine. It's about as basic as it gets for a unique unit. Yeah, moving on. We got the Soakman, which is a unique settler, which, hey, it's always pretty decent. So founds new towns, and you instantly get medieval walls when you found a new settlement, which is pretty good actually. Obviously, new settlements are at their most vulnerable when you just found them, so this sort of counteracts that quite well. You still probably want to bring something else to defend it, but anyway. They have some buildings, which is always good. We get the Bailey, +4 culture, and 1 adjacency for medieval walls and wonders. So you kind of want to tuck this in, you know, around other districts. It's kind of like a district adjacency, but with a bit more effort. Not bad. Interestingly though, note, it does count as a fortification, so people do have to capture this to take your city. And you get the Mott as well. Happiness building. You get +4 happiness on top of the original +4, so +8 if you place it on rough terrain. And you get this adjacency for wonders, as everything does. Yeah, as I said, fortified districts, so technically you could put these in 2 different spots, I guess, to make your settlement really hard to capture, but probably don't do that. If you build them both in the same spot, you get +10% production towards training cavalry units, and you get a free Chevlar when you complete it as well. So, free cavalry, you know, nothing to complain about, and a nice production bonus. Could be a lot worse. Just what happened to my YouTube thing? Move that over here temporarily. Sorry about that. Okay. We have a first civic here with a very long name that's so long they had to shorten the text just to fit it in. Where you go unlock the Mott, and a tradition that gives you production towards constructing fortification buildings. So in layman's terms, that is walls. Although for the Normans, their unique buildings are considered fortifications, so it also counts towards them, which is nice, but a bit niche really, isn't it? I mean, it's a thematic card for them, but pretty weak. Very weak, actually. Wouldn't really be using that too much, but you plug it in as you need it. On the Mastery, unlock the Bailey, as well as +1 combat strength to the Chevlar for every tradition in your government. This is always a really strong effect. It's strong on, you know, Lafayette and Rome. So Lafayette are good pairing for Normans. Keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, by this point in the game, you can get up to 8 traditions. So pretty good. It's pretty good. Makes your shovelers quite strong. Common law gives you +1 social policy slot, and another tradition here, +4 culture from the palace, and +2 happiness from city halls. A decent amount of happiness across your empire, but nothing too crazy really. I think a middling card that plug it in, but yeah, probably going to plug it out at some point later on, quite soon. Get an extra settlement limit here, as well as -2 gold maintenance for cavalry units, which is okay. Nothing too crazy. And +2 culture for every tradition in the government. That's pretty bad. I mean, that doesn't scale well at all by this point. As I said, the max you can have in your government is 8 by this point, as far as I know. This is something I'm missing. So best case, this is giving you +16 culture, which is pretty horrendous. So that's not great. The Domesday Book, +2 gold from farms, double during a celebration. This is really good. This is going to be giving you a ton of gold. You're probably going to have farms just scattered all over the place. Norman, you know, they play on the land, Normans, so they'll have farms everywhere. And yeah, double during a celebration is great. Really good gold generation. And +4 culture and settlements not founded by you. It's alright. You know, if you're taking settlements, this is obviously better. But keep in mind, as far as I know, this only applies to this age. So if you got settlements from the previous age that you captured, I don't think this applies to them. Only ones you captured in exploration. And when I say it out loud, it makes it sound pretty terrible. So this tradition, yeah, you're not going to plug this in. Unlikely in this age, definitely not in modern. So pretty terrible. You get a second settlement limit, which I think Mongolia is the only other one that gets +2. Could be wrong, but that's really good. So 2 settlement limit increases, and you get the White Tower. +4 happiness for every tradition slotted in the government. Kind of okay. It's alright. You know, I think it comes pretty late here for everyone else, so good for you. You know, you can build it. I wouldn't trip over yourself to build it, but you can always pretty much guarantee that you will get it, so you may as well. And it's not bad. It could be a lot worse. So that's the Normans, hey? Look, are they that good? I don't think they are. Maybe I'm like overlooking something. Maybe there's some synergy here I'm missing, or I don't know. Can I really put them in S tier? No. Let's move our thingo over to the tier list. Can I justify putting the Normans in S tier? Absolutely not. Can I put them in A tier with the Ming and Mongolia? I don't think so. I think they've got to go down in B tier. I think you could probably say they're better than the Majapahit hit. I think that's fair. I don't know. Can someone tell me why Ursa liked them so much? I'll concede. I apologize. I don't remember what he said in the video about them. I just remember the ranking was crazy. It might not even have been S, but I don't think the Normans are that great. Like, they're good at building walls, and they get a bit of culture here and there. They get a really good gold generation card. I'll give them that. +2 settlement limit is good. This is true. But are they that good? No, I don't think so. Out of respect for my boy, I'll put them at the top of B tier. But I don't think they're that great. Moving on to the Shawnee. Now this is a... I don't really know how to rank this one. I'm going to rank this one with the belief that this, you know, as if they weren't bugged. There's a bug right now with their unique improvement where it scales off of itself. So it's meant to give +1 culture for every city-state you're allied with. But if you have 2 of them, it'll double that effect. If you have 3 of them, it'll triple it. So on, so on. So if you're friends with 5 city-states and you have 6 of these improvements in your city, it'll give 30 culture, 5 times 6, to all 6 improvements, which is ridiculous. Completely busted. if this is how it's meant to function, quote unquote, then they would easily go up here, probably the best in the game. I'm going to pretend that's not the case. And if you pretend that's not the case, the Shawnee aren't great. Not bad. I think that improvement is still really good. It's just not broken, unless it is broken. I think the inherent effect around navigable rivers is terrible. I think it's +2 food on navigable river tiles. But if your your settlement isn't founded on a navigable river, you get -10% food, which is a much bigger drawback than the upside. So that's not good. The unique unit is quite strong as well. They play around a lot with city-states. I'm trying to differentiate them from Tecumseh. I keep getting them their abilities jumbled up. Yeah, not much more to say. Look, they want to be friends with city-states. They have a good card as well that gives them a discount towards the befriend action, which is really strong. Just like Greece, which is a really good pairing, by the way, Greece into Shawnee. Right now, look, abuse them all you can. They're really strong at the moment, but from memory, a lot of the other stuff just isn't crazy good. But I do think because city-states are so strong, the Shawnee are quite strong. So Shawnee can go the top of B tier, again, assuming that they're not bugged. Assuming that gets fixed, which I am. So yeah, that's where the Shawnee can go. Make a quick sip. So Songhai. I played Songhai quite recently, and they didn't feel amazing. They're another civ that relies on navigable rivers a fair bit, and unfortunately, navigable rivers just aren't great. Go ask Egypt if you need any more information on that. There's not many of them usually. They're usually a bit small as well. And Songhai really likes to be on them. They get treasure fleets generated on navigable rivers. You have to get near the end of their civic tree, though, to get them. So the Incans do a bit better in that respect. What else do they get? They get the gold bangled infantry, which was pretty decent. I think it gave you combat strength if you're fighting on a resource. Is that true? Yeah, I don't know. Songhai struggled. Their improvement was decent. I remember it gave a lot of gold, the caravanserai. But you had to build it on pretty strict terrain requirements, so that wasn't great. Yeah, I don't know. Songhai, again, we're doing some rapid fire rankings here, so I'm going off memory, but they weren't very good. That's what I would say. I'm trying to think if there was anything about them that was really standout, but I don't think there was. They were just all about generating gold, which granted I do think is a bit better now. With urban centers being so good, you want a lot of gold to buy your buildings in your towns, but is that enough to make Songhai not D tier? It's a bit rough. Like, of all the civs I would have thought I would put in D tier. I don't know if Songhai would have been the one, but I think their thing about generating treasure convoys on navigable rivers is a bit overhyped as well. Just it comes online really late, so can I put them in C tier? I would need a pretty good argument, I think, to move them up. But with urban centers, they are better. They have a little bonus to economic. Are they as good as the Chola? The Chola at least has the insane naval unit. Songhai, I don't know. I don't think I'm missing anything here. I mean, this isn't a hard and fast tier list. Like, so I'm confident putting them in D, and Spain can probably join them, but they might sneak into C. Spain was really good at generating gold. They're all about going over to the distant lands and trying to found as many settlements over there as they can. They get a bonus towards converting towns to cities, which used to be really decent once upon a time, but now we have urban centers, so towns aren't so bad as towns. Or hub towns in this age as well. Keep those in mind. So Spain, probably pretty at home in D tier as well. What else do they do? Like their unique court is pretty good, so it gives it, I think it's +2 gold for every settlement in the distant lands. And that goes on all of them, which is pretty good. So decent gold generation. They save a bit of gold, you know, converting towns to cities, but you don't really need to do that too much. I think Spain got inadvertently nerfed by the changes, really. Their great people were pretty terrible. That's what I remember of those. Unless you were big on combat, I think a lot of them gave free units, which, you know, is decent, I guess, but not good. Not good at all. I think that's the list, at least for now. So, I mean, I'm probably going to call the stream there. This has been a good amount of fun. So let me know your thoughts. I think this is, I'd stand by pretty much all of these calls. Maybe Ming is, maybe they're a bit high. Maybe Hawaii I was too harsh on. Maybe Songhai and Spain aren't that bad compared to the Chola or the Incans. Maybe I was too generous on the Incans. Hard to say. Hard to say. But yeah, that's it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been good fun. I don't get to live stream too often these days. But yeah, it's always, I love doing it. I really do. It's such good fun, isn't it, live streaming compared to editing videos? I mean, it is just night and day how fun it is. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone who's come out to watch. All 180-ish of you. This was good fun. So I'll make this into a video at some point, probably with pretty heavily edited, because, you know, live streams are all over the shop a bit. But yeah, that is where I'll call it. So thank you all for coming, and I'll see you on the next video or stream. So thanks everyone.